A sneak preview of what will unfold both prior to and during Jubilee's Grand Merger beginning Thursday this week. That is now sending jubilation and condemnation at the same time across the country. A show of political might which the country's biggest political party, ODM, claims demands hard questions be asked.
How did a party yet to be born acquire a building of that value? Vehicles, posters, shilling 10,000 per delegate per day, and the many other goodies being displayed. We want to challenge Jubilee to explain the source of the money it is spending on these projects.
And it is so much money displayed. We feel for once that Jubilee should come clean on where this ability and financial muscle has come from.
The MPs say majority of the parties amalgamating into Jubilee Party are briefcase parties and that money being spent cannot be personal resources.
We have reasons to fear Jubilee stealing money to finance party activities. While billions have been stolen from public programs like NYS, the SGR, Eurobond, the laptop projects, among others, monies we always suspected will be used to buy elections.
Hela za chama ama za vyama vile ambavyo vimeamua viungane na Jubilee. Na kama ni vyama hivi vidogo vidogo ambavyo vimeamua viungane na Jubilee, tunavijua hivi vyama havina hela, havina fedha. Juzi tu vilikuwa vinangana kulipa.
ODM claims Kenya is witnessing the return of politics of money of the kind last seen in 1992 and 1997 that subjected Kenya to serious inflationary effects, a claim Jubilee has dismissed.
Our economy is struggling. It cannot take another such beating, and we will hold Jubilee solely responsible should such effects once again occur.
You know, people can say anything. They can even say I'm a woman. And do I become a woman because they've said so? No. The event is, as you know, we receive political parties fund. Some of our parties get a substantial amount of money from that fund. And then this is one of the greatest parties in this country.
Unless you show your might, the might goes in political might is equivalent to the votes you're going to get in 2017. And this is not Kenya, this is not, Sisi kwa Sisi, this is not Wiper, this is not Ford Kenya. This is a huge political movement.
Come Thursday 8th, beginning 7 a.m., all affiliate parties within Jubilee that have agreed to amalgamate retreat to their respective NDCs for merger ratification that will subsequently usher in Jubilee Party's Grand Merger at Kasarani on Saturday. Duncan Haimba, KTN News, Nairobi.
Good evening and thank you so much for joining us tonight on The Last Word. My name is Sophia Wanuna. As we've heard there from our Duncan Haimba setting the stage for our discussion tonight, it's just about 1 year to go to next year's general elections, and it's definitely all systems go. And as far as political parties and players in the country trying to put house in order ahead of the general elections. And tonight our focus is on the Jubilee Party, that amalgamation of parties from TNA to URP and others that are coming together. And I have tonight here in studio the co-chair of the Jubilee Steering Committee with me, Noah Wekesa, who has, of course, a deep understanding of just what exactly is happening within the Jubilee circles to help us understand and, of course, to respond to some of those issues that have been raised. We had some of what members from ODM had raised in as far, especially as the financing, because definitely deep pockets is how some of the work that Jubilee is rolling out ahead of their busy days ahead from tomorrow through to Saturday has been described. So where is this money coming from? from? What informed this amalgamation? Is it really about uniting the country, or is it a same script, different cast, and is bound to suffer the same fate as we've seen other parties before? Be part of the conversation. Tweet us throughout the show at KTN News, at Sophia Wanuna. Would love to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are on the Jubilee Party. For you, is it a yay or is it a nay? Does it work out? Is it what you would describe as democracy at its best? Or for you, is it, as some have claimed, a party that is seeking to take Kenya back to the single-party rule? Let us know your views tonight. Would love to hear from you. Noah Kesa, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Always a pleasure. So let's begin. There's definitely a lot to converse, but let's start with what to expect from tomorrow, because it's a busy itinerary you have starting tomorrow through to Saturday. Talk to us briefly about what is lined up.
Sophia, I want to thank you for having me on your program. I'm glad to talk about Jubilee, where we've come from and where we are. The program from tonight is that delegates are arriving from all over Kenya. There'll be more of them arriving in the morning. And the business of tomorrow is really the delegates conference of every party in the merger to deliberate and affirm the resolution that were handed to us a couple of months ago by the national executive committees of these various political parties. For the merger to happen, the National Delegates Conference must affirm, reassure that indeed what the NECs have done is legal, and it opens the door for us to merge and create this new baby called Jubilee.
Jubilee Party.
This is tomorrow. So
tomorrow the various parties, how many are there in total?
13 up to now, could be 14 because we had a problem of people going to court, and I believe now it's 13 political parties.
So which one is the uncertainty over? Which party?
We have had issues with Newford, Kenya. Some people rushing to court and wanting to bar Newford, Kenya from joining us.
But there was a ruling allowing
there
for
was a ruling which actually threw their case out.
Yes.
Ford people also had a case a couple of days ago, and also that was cleared. So they are probably with us. And
so how many in total, 13 or 14?
13 so far.
Okay.
So tomorrow, that's what is happening.
So each party will have their separate meeting?
Separate meetings organized at Kasarani and Bomas of Kenya at different times, so that each political party actually has the premises on their own, and they can do their work.
Isn't that going to be a bit of a mess, having all of these delegates in one location, each having a meeting after the other? In terms of logistics, isn't that a bit of a nightmare you're setting yourself up for?
Not really, because we, as I say, we're about 13 political parties. So the timings make it possible for them to arrive and leave without too much interference with the others. And as I say, there are two venues that, like Bomas, you know, they have several halls there.
Okay.
And we can hold these meetings with no problems.
All right.
So that's what will happen the whole of tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Then Friday?
On Friday, we'll all go together to Kasarani, and there will be speakers from each political party. We'll also have some Kenyans who have benefited from this government,
Right.
the Jubilee Coalition. They'll be speaking, giving us their life histories, how life has changed in the last few years. Also, the party leaders will tell us about how they've come to agree to form one party. We have also invited overseas political parties. I know that China, the Communist Party of China, they are sending a delegation. We've sent invitations to South Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Ghana. We hope that some of these continental political parties are coming to give us their story. So that is the whole of Friday.
Okay.
The key speaker on Friday will be the deputy party leader, who is the deputy president, Mheshimiwa William Ruto. And on Saturday, the legal business would have been done away with. The party leader and the deputy party leader will have been formally elected or nominated. And therefore, on Saturday, it will be just celebrations. We'll have different artists and from all over the country singing. And
So when is the official merger?
the official merger is actually Friday.
Okay.
The official merger is actually Friday.
So this deal pen will be put to paper Friday. So Friday it will be
Yes.
officially
Yes.
Jubilee Party.
Yes, and of course, as I say, Saturday is just celebrations.
Saturday is just
And
celebration.
the guest of honor will be the party leader, who is the president of Kenya.
Okay. What about the steering committee in terms of, or rather party officials? Will this be known soon after?
Well, my job has come to an end.
Yes.
The steering committee, actually their work finishes tomorrow night. And perhaps what you are referring to is the possible new officials of the party.
Jubilee Party, yes.
What we call the National Executive Committee. I'm not very sure whether the party leader and his deputy will unveil the names of the NEC members on Saturday. I'm not very sure.
Because then
They could
what
do it,
raises
or-
questions is if they're unveiling them, who has voted them, elected them into office? Isn't that going to be a process that will be left to the delegates, or are they going to impose individuals that have been handpicked as officials of the party?
There's been a lot of consultation over the period. As we have been meeting as the National Steering Committee, there's been constant consultation between ourselves and the party leader and his deputy. So it is not something that is just going to happen on Saturday. This is a situation where various ideas have been put forward, mechanism of nominating the National Executive Committee have been discussed, and we've left it to His Excellency the President to nominate, and underline the word nominate, the leaders, the interim leaders of the party.
All right. So it's important to highlight interim.
We cannot carry out an election in the normal way, because we know from experience that the election is just a few months away, and an election process, as you know, it's a big exercise.
But surely it's for your delegates. You're being able to bring together all of these parties, amalgamate them to one party. So why isn't it possible to have an election as well within now the Jubilee Party to have elections that all members can have confidence in?
Elections must start at the grassroots. It does not start from the bar.
Right.
And to do a proper election, we have to start it at ward level, sub-county, county, and then come up to the national level.
So in short, there will not be elections?
There will be no election, there will be nomination, and everybody understands that right from the deputy, from the party leader down to the smallest position at ward level, this will be nominated, knowing very well that they are interim officials, and as soon as we have finished the general election, we hope that we can now start a process of party elections, grassroots elections, that will move up right up to the national level.
All right, and we'll talk more about that, especially in as far as what type of people would also be nominated. You said there are not going to be elections, but let's talk about some of the issues that have been raised, going back to what informed the formation of the Jubilee Party, because we have had, even from some of the politicians in, say, Jubilee, in TNA and URP that formed the Jubilee Coalition, saying that the formation of this party is not because they need to win next year's elections, because as the two parties, they were able to win in 2013, so that this is in essence to unite the country. So at what point then, if that is the case, was there this realization that this political vehicle is what it takes to unite Kenya?
That is a very good question. These issues have been discussed since 2012. Leaders at various levels within Jubilee government have discussed the issue of creating a national party that actually unites all Kenyans, unites tribes, communities, all levels of Kenyans, you know, the mighty and the ordinary mwananchi. It's a discussion, consultations have taken place, and as you can see, my committee was formed 9 months ago. So we've been very, very careful in discussions at all levels, and we have addressed the issues of legal issues very, very carefully. We had a very strong committee which was led by the General Secretary of TNA, Nyango Law.
Okay.
And with a team of lawyers, we've looked at the all aspects of a merger, and during this time, Kenyans who believe in this idea of merger have consulted each other.
All right.
And we've come to agree that the best way to move forward in Kenya today, having known what has happened in the past,
right,
it is good to create a mass party, a national party, that will do away with tribalism, will do away with sectionalism.
So let me ask you this. Then do you see this, as some have claimed, that it's an admission of failure by President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto, in as far as that their coalition did not manage to mend those cracks and issues, and as far as tribalism that's deeply entrenched in this country and the divisiveness that we've seen, and that now they're trying to fix a problem they were not able to fix in this first term of their presidency?
It has nothing to do with our party leader and deputy party leader. who happen to be president and deputy president. It has nothing to do with them.
What do you mean it has nothing to do with them? They're the leaders
let me
of those...
explain.
Okay.
This country has seen coalitions. And you're talking to somebody that has participated in all the coalitions of 2002 and 2007. And I didn't participate in the coalition of 2013.
Okay.
Coalitions have been formed for the purpose of an election. No structures of a coalition at all, that just parties come together because they want to be to win an election. They come together, form themselves into a coalition.
And that's what this has been seen as.
No. This is quite different.
Even the timing is quite telling.
This is very different, Sophia. And then soon after the general election, they go their own way. That happened in 2002, happened in 2007, and luckily enough, it hasn't happened in 2013. As I said, from 2012, discussions about a merger were commenced. And we have seen that it's not just enough to create a coalition for the purpose of an election. What we're actually addressing is a bigger issue than just winning an election.
Yeah.
We want to bring Kenyans together.
So you're then agreeing, so let me interject, that you want to bring Kenyans together. So you're saying they're not together, which is also a huge mandate of the executive. As president, he's also unifier in chief. So this is something the administration has failed to do, but to perhaps, your point is that seeking to rectify going forward. Would you agree at least to that extent? Because if things were fine in as far as the unity of the country, then there wouldn't be a need to bring in more people. But it's because there's been realization that there's a problem in the fact that there's been seen largely to be just two communities coming in to form government. And even a lot of criticism in the past has been directed towards the government. And as far as allocation of party positions, that there are many, not party positions, but positions in public office being seen to only go to largely, again, these two. So then would you agree that it's a problem that has not been fixed in the last 5 years, which we're about to complete in next year's elections, that now you're seeking to rectify with this amalgamation?
Well, I agree in that sense, because we also have this other experience that I've just spelled out.
Right.
And we don't want to go that way. We want to create a party that will be here for the next 200 years, 300 years. This has happened in many countries. It brings stability, it brings hope, it unites people. And tribalism is a serious matter in this country. Tribalism was not brought by Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto. Tribalism is there, you can see it, but a lot of Kenyans, a lot of us don't want to agree that there is a problem in the way we conduct our politics.
All right, so you say since 2012, this has been a conversation that has been happening to ensure inclusivity.
Yes.
However, again, criticism towards Jubilee Party that's about to be formed is that some of these parties are being described as briefcase parties. Parties that nobody knows about, that if we are really going to talk about bringing together the country, we should be talking about parties that have first that ID, in terms of name recognition, are known, that have a following, not to just have parties that have members from different parts of the country to be able to suggest that then, or paint a picture of face of Kenya, but that when you look really into it, it isn't. Please take me through the parties and paint for me that picture from where you sit.
Well, let me tell you, in a way I agree with you, that many political parties in Kenya are tribal and they are briefcase political parties.
Right.
That is a fact that Kenyans are aware of. Now, you talk about some of the parties that have come into this merger are briefcase political parties. We decided that as a political party, what is the definition of a political party? A political party must be registered by the registrar of political parties. So long as a party has been registered, it has members, it has officials, it has a national executive committee, we recognize it as a political party. So when we decided to go the merger way, we did not want to discriminate. We said big parties, TNA, URP, Newport, Kenya,
ones.
Are going to merge. And this is a marriage of convenience. This is a willing...
a coalition of the willing, or a merger.
It's coalition, a merger of the willing.
Yeah, so you then agree.
People have said that we've been enticing people or convincing
Dangling
people.
carrots.
Yes, carrots. That is not the point. The point is political parties that have been registered in our country, if they want to come into the merger, we can't say you're too small, you cannot come with us.
But then that questions, what it is you were saying, that why start a process, what you said 2012, we're now in 2016, 4 years, only to then come at the point of agreeing these are the people we want to work with and not care what their makeup is, only care on the face of it that they're a political party. Because I could walk then across to the register of political parties, register my own party, another one, and then we just form this shambolic body we're going to call the united, amalgamated, coming together of parties, as opposed to real depth. Because then what you're telling me is the only depth there is in TNA, URP, and then the rest are accompanying flower girls to these major parties.
Not at all. Let me tell you, there are many of these political parties are national. TNA is national, URP is national, UDF is national, Newport, Kenya is national. We got officials all over the country.
Tip.
Well, Tip has been there for a long time. You know that. It's not a recent political party. It's a small party, but it's been there with their own vision and policy. It's a very well-organized political party. Mm-hmm. So, as I said, we decided to come together and not be discriminative. Big parties have come together. TNA is big, URP is big, UDF is big, Newport, Kenya is big, APK is big, and as I say, even smaller parties have come, and we are merging at equal level.
So what if more parties express interest in being part of after Friday?
Our doors are still open. Mm-hmm. We'll receive them.
They'll have to fold up to...
Yes, they have to go through the legal processes that we've been through, and we'll accommodate them. Because what we're looking at is create a national party that will be there for generations to come. Mm-hmm. And as I say, one of the evils of our system is tribalism. And sure enough, if we can bring people to work together, play together, have equal chances of getting employment, bring prosperity, inclusiveness, mm-hmm. I think we'll be doing, that's a positive move. Rather than
when you say inclusiveness, it means that each of these political parties that are coming together will get significant positions that will be influential, or positions in government, say you get in 2017? Or what is it that is going to then translate to this inclusivity past the paper?
Have you heard people saying mm-hmm. that this government, Jubilee government, is a Kikuyu Kalenjin party? Have you heard that?
I have heard it a lot, yes, I have.
That many of the big positions in this Jubilee party has gone to the Kikuyus and Kalenjins? Have you heard that?
I have, but sir, because I see where you're going with this, they do not need to form a political party with other tribes to be able to include people in public office. That is the challenge, that this is being seen as purely PR, because being in office, president and deputy president, they were able to get every other tribe and inclusivity. You don't need to then have these tribes in a political party to ensure that.
Let me tell you.
Do you see the problem with that argument?
Let me tell you about politics. Political parties all over the world.
Yes, sir.
They have a vision, they have a mission, they have a manifesto. And those members of those political parties, they strive to amass power. You are in politics, get power so that you can win and form government. And as you form government, all over the world, you form government with those people who worked with you. You don't go out and look for somebody else who didn't work with you.
So then you're
This
agreeing.
happens in America, it happens in Britain,
So
it happens everywhere.
You're agreeing with me that the criticism, what has been the biggest one for the Jubilee-led administration so far, that public positions, as you were saying earlier, largely held by those two communities. You agree that that is the case, and that is a mistake from where you sit that has been made for the last couple of years, yes? Because you've explained, because yes, they came in together,
yes,
so then they give their people. They say it's our time to eat.
My leaders, the president and the deputy, have not been comfortable with that scenario.
But that has been the reality.
They want a party that accommodates Kenyans so that when we form government, every Kenyan can feel this is his own party, this is his government.
But I want to question, what you say and poke holes into that argument that if you run in an election together, form government together, then those become the people that you elect in office. Because look at the case of, a very big opponent of Obama was Hillary. You'd imagine they were sworn enemies on the campaign trail before he became president. But he went ahead to have her in his government as Secretary of State. So whilst they were both Democrats on one hand, but on the other they were fierce enemies, but to have worked together. So to say that now we're in a situation where we have mostly Kikuyus and Kalenjins because the president and the deputy president are from those communities, now we want to have more parties from different tribal groupings so we can have more people in government, that sounds... doesn't quite fly, does it?
It does. It does. Let me tell you, even the Jubilee government has not discriminated in appointments that they have largely concentrated in Central Province and Rift Valley. When they formed the government, the president, in his own vision, he has brought in people from opposition. I was in opposition.
Okay.
I stood in ODM.
All right.
And look where I'm sitting.
So I want us to go on a break. When we come back, point has been made. I want us to talk more about some of this display we have seen of might in today and yesterday with the cars, the headquarters, and questions have been raised. Where is this money coming from? And also...
It's only 15 cars.
It's only, those did not look like 15 cars. And also, will politicians, especially those seeking elective positions in 2017, be part of the leadership in the new party, that is Jubilee Party? So thank you for being with us and continue to stay with us. You're watching The Last Word here on KTN News. We'll be back shortly.